It was a warm spring Saturday morning at the Blakes' home in Florida. David Blake had just finished mowing the lawn early to avoid the midday heat. As he swept the sidewalk and tossed the clippings into the trash can, his wife Megan called from the upstairs window. "Dave, you've got a phone call," she called out. "Who is it? Can't you see I'm busy and covered in dirt?" Dave replied. "It's someone named Kalui." "He says it's important," Megan shouted back. "I'll be right there," Dave said, hastily wiping his hands on his pants and quickening his pace toward the house. "Who is it, honey?" Megan asked. "That job I was looking into, remember?" "This might be the call I've been waiting for," Dave answered. On the phone, Dave listened carefully and jotted down some details. When he hung up, Megan watched him with curiosity. "They want to see me," Dave said excitedly, gripping her shoulders. "You mean you got the job?" Megan asked. "No, not yet. They want me to fly out for an interview and a tour." "It's almost a sure thing," Dave explained. "That's fantastic. When do you leave?" Megan inquired. "First thing Monday morning. They already have the tickets." "I need to start packing," he said. Dave quickly put away his lawn tools and cleaned up. Megan ran to the store for some last-minute items while Dave went to the barber to tidy up for the important impression he'd need to make. Soon, they reunited at home to prepare for the trip. After a quick lunch, they began packing. Megan entered the bedroom where Dave was stuffing suits, socks, and shoes into his suitcase. "Don't forget your toothbrush," Megan reminded him. "Oh, and I'll need travel mouthwash too," Dave added. "Here's your aftershave and shaving kit as well," Megan said, handing them over. "Thanks, babe. You're just as excited as I am, aren't you?" Dave asked, bending down to kiss her. "I want you to succeed. You're a good manager, and this job means more money for us," Megan replied softly. "You know you have a whole day tomorrow to get ready," she added. "I want us to relax in bed most of the day. I want to spend the morning with you before I go," Dave said. "Oh yeah?" Megan smiled, wrapping her arms around him and kissing him again. "What's stopping us now?" she teased. They laughed and cuddled on the bed for a few minutes until Dave suddenly sat up. "A comb! I can't forget that." Megan chuckled. "I'll be glad when you get that job," she said playfully. The day passed as they packed 2 suitcases with suits, extra pants, plenty of socks, and toiletries for the week, even though Dave's trip was short. After a late dinner, both went to bed, tired from the day's activity. Sunday morning arrived, and as Dave suggested, they spent a passionate morning together. Megan, a striking middle-aged blonde, finally rose to prepare brunch. She shuffled barefoot into the kitchen, wearing a delicate robe, while Dave relaxed in bed to regain his energy. Eventually, he put on pajama pants and walked shirtless to the kitchen. He wrapped his arms around Megan from behind and kissed her neck. That was wonderful, Dave," Megan sighed. "That should keep you going until I get back," Dave said with a smile. Megan replied, turning to hug Dave as her hands traced along his chest. Dave returned the gesture right there in the kitchen. Holding each other close, Megan slipped her hands inside Dave's pajama pants and gave a playful squeeze. Dave tightened his embrace, running his fingers through her blonde hair as they shared a lingering kiss. The rest of Sunday passed peacefully. Dave was ready for his trip the next morning. He spent the day lingering around the house with Megan, soaking up as much time together as possible, knowing he'd miss her during the week. Megan felt the same. Monday had arrived, the big day. After a quick breakfast, Dave lifted the heavy bags into the car with ease, and they drove to the airport. "This is it," Dave muttered as they pulled up to the bustling terminal. "Pop the trunk," he called to Megan. She unlocked it with the remote and, without leaving the car, rolled down the window to give him a quick good luck kiss. "Good luck, honey." "It's too crowded for me to park," Megan shouted. "That's fine. I'm in a hurry anyway, Dave replied, scanning the busy loading zone. I have to get those tickets. Leaning into the window so Megan could hear over the traffic, he added a final word before pulling back. As he retracted his head, Dave's eyes caught a glimpse down Megan's blouse, just a brief, unintended glance. Then his gaze drifted downward to her lap and her fitted pants before he pulled away. Megan's foot stayed steady on the brake. I'll call you when I get to the hotel, okay? Dave said. Good luck, Megan replied, easing off the brake and pulling away. In the rearview mirror, she watched Dave grab his bags and head quickly inside. Then she turned for home. Inside the airport, Dave waited briefly in line, secured his tickets, and checked his baggage. He spoke briefly with the female ticket agent. We're hoping to get you to Washington on time, sir, she said. Is there a problem with the plane? Dave asked. There's heavy air traffic rerouted around a storm, she explained. Things are a bit chaotic, but we're managing. You can proceed to the boarding area. Dave replied nervously, Great. I hope I don't miss this job over a thunderstorm. At the crowded gate, Dave noticed another flight arriving. The crew and passengers exited looking unsettled. The pilot and co-pilot seemed shaken, and the flight attendants appeared confused. Curious, Dave approached one attendant. Tough flight? He asked. She hesitated. Well, it was rough, she said quietly. Ask the captain. We couldn't even serve meals because of the turbulence. Realizing this was likely related to the storm, Dave chose not to press further. Soon after, his own flight was called. He felt some relief finally getting underway but couldn't help glancing back at the anxious crew. Dave lined up to board, handed over his ticket, and found his seat in the middle of the plane. He buckled his seatbelt and replayed his brief chat with the crew. The captain's voice came over the loudspeaker, This is your captain speaking. Once everyone's secured, we'll taxi to the runway. We're aware of some storm activity between here and Washington, but we're prepared to handle it. Please relax and enjoy the flight. Dave exhaled, comforted by the captain's confident tone. As promised, the plane backed out and turned toward the runway. The flight attendants, all striking, stood to deliver safety instructions on life vests, seat belts, and oxygen masks. Dave listened carefully, his eyes fixed on the woman speaking. She was beautiful. A chill ran through him, reminding him how much he already missed Megan. Still, the plane took off on schedule. The flight continued smoothly, with only occasional turbulence, not nearly as bad as Dave had been told. When the meal service began, Dave was pleased to see his favorite flight attendant approaching. He unbuttoned his shirt slightly and opened his suit jacket just enough to reveal a hint of his chest, hoping to catch her attention. He reminded himself he was a married man, but a little harmless confidence didn't hurt. The tray stopped in front of him. What can I get for you? She asked, noticing his broad build beneath the tailored suit. She smiled, moistening her lips and leaning down slightly to hand him a napkin, a clear sign she was enjoying the subtle exchange. Coffee, please. Make it a large, Dave replied. I have to say, you're one of the most beautiful flight attendants I've ever seen. Thank you, sir. You can call me Nicole, she responded with a playful tone. All right, Nicole, Dave smiled. A few other passengers cleared their throats politely, signaling their orders. Nicole winked and moved on swiftly. Dave nervously sipped his coffee, eyes tracking her every movement. He noticed her skirt seemed unusually short, adding to his distracted state. About 10 minutes later, turbulence grew stronger. The possibility of second servings was cancelled. The increasing shakes made Dave uneasy, and he soon felt the need to use the restroom. The seatbelt sign lit up. Dave called Nicole over. She looked serious but nodded for him to get up quickly. The plane jolted sharply as he unbuckled and hurried down the aisle. Passengers peered out the windows, noticing an eerie pink cloud enveloping the plane. What on earth is that? One passenger murmured. Looks like thick cotton candy, a woman replied, wide-eyed. Dave reached the bathroom just in time, locking the door behind him. The turbulence worsened by the minute. Over the loudspeaker, the captain warned of a potential emergency if conditions deteriorated and urged everyone, including crew, to remain seated. Dave, isolated in the bathroom, only heard muffled warnings and was unaware of the severity. The plane vibrated intensely as passengers whispered prayers. Outside, the pink cloud thickened ominously. Suddenly, oxygen masks dropped from the ceiling despite no apparent loss of cabin pressure. Passengers were instructed to use them immediately. Dave, alone and frightened, clutched the bathroom walls. He began to hyperventilate and noticed a strange metallic taste in the air, a sensation new to him. Confined in the bathroom, he was the only one not using the oxygen supply. Minutes passed. The shaking peaked, then slowly eased. The cabin filled with the sound of passengers breathing deeply through their masks. Inside the bathroom, Dave zipped up his pants but soon felt dizzy. He collapsed and lost consciousness. Back in the cabin, the captain announced the storm was behind them and apologized for not diverting the flight. Flight attendants checked on passengers, noting one empty seat, Dave's. Nicole, the attendant who had been friendly with Dave, became concerned and searched the plane. She knocked on all bathroom doors, getting no response from the locked one. "Hello? Anyone in there?" she called. Worried, Nicole used a special tool to unlock the door and swung it open. Inside lay an unconscious figure, but it wasn't Dave. Instead, it was a woman wearing a man's business suit. "Miss, wake up. Please wake up," Nicole urged. Other attendants gathered, helping carry the unconscious woman to a nearby galley. After a few moments with smelling salts, the woman stirred. "What happened?" she groaned. "You're all right, dear. You must have fainted during the turbulence." "The air got pretty thin for a while," Nicole explained, kneeling beside her. "Huh? Dearie?" "Yeah, I guess I must have passed out," the woman said groggily. "Where are you from? What seat were you in?" Nicole asked. "Down there, seat 21B, I think." "You remember me, don't you?" the woman replied, now fully conscious. "Who? You?" "No, I don't. In fact, I don't recall seeing you board." "Don't tell me you've been hiding in the bathroom since takeoff," Nicole said. "No, not at all. I'm the guy with the large coffee from earlier." "I'm Dave Blake," the woman said. Nicole looked confused. "You? Are you sure you're all right? You seem disoriented, and you're wearing a man's suit, for heaven's sake." Not understanding what was happening, Dave insisted, "No, I'm him. I can prove it. Wait, I can tell you everything in my bags. I have my driver's license." Reaching for his wallet in his back pocket, Dave suddenly noticed something strange. The softness and sensitivity of his backside felt different. He stopped and looked at his hands. They were delicate, feminine hands. "What the?" Dave whispered, examining his hands front and back, then down his legs. His shoes and clothes felt loose. Long brown hair fell past his shoulders and into his face. His voice sounded unfamiliar too. "Can I have a mirror?" "I don't think I feel well," Dave said. "Of course, dearie. Here," Nicole said, handing over a mirror from her purse. Dave took it and stared back. A beautiful brunette woman looked at him. "Oh my goodness! What happened?" Dave exclaimed. "Dearie, I don't know. You need to calm down," Nicole said, looking at Dave sitting on the floor in the oversized suit. "Do you have any other clothes? You're drawing attention like this." "No, I don't. Because I'm a man, I was when I boarded." "Look," Dave said, showing the wallet. "Oh my God, that's the guy I served coffee to," Nicole said to the other attendants. "Yes, that's me. I'm telling you, I'm him. I'm on my way to a job interview in DC. I'm confused and not feeling well. I can't stay like this, Dave said, patting the chest in the suit. Look, you sound like a woman and look like one, too. Why don't you come with me to the lockers? I'll lend you one of my uniforms. Everything will be okay, Nicole offered. I can't wear your clothes. I'm a man, Dave protested. Please? Nicole urged. Confused, Dave finally agreed and followed Nicole to the locker room. He removed his pants and boxers, now way too large, and put on a skirt and heels Nicole gave him, though without undergarments. This isn't me. It's that pink cloud thing, that smell and taste, Dave said while dressing. Miss, a man is missing since the storm, and we're trying to figure it out. Being locked in that bathroom without air probably disoriented you. Here's a blouse from my uniform too, Nicole said, helping cover Dave and shielding him from the other passengers. I'll have to figure this out somehow, Dave muttered. Go back to your seat. We'll be landing soon, Nicole advised. Dave awkwardly walked down the aisle in heels and sat down. The skirt rode up slightly, revealing a shapely pair of bare legs. He wondered if this transformation was temporary or permanent after inhaling that strange air. The plane landed, and everyone disembarked. Dave thanked Nicole for her help but insisted, I'm Dave Blake. I swear. I'll return these clothes once this wears off. You'll see. Go to your hotel and rest. You'll feel better, Nicole replied, smiling as the attendants chuckled over the confused woman leaving the plane. Watching Dave struggle in heels, Nicole wondered if maybe there was some truth to his story. Dave made his way to baggage claim. His hair was disheveled, and he stood out as an attractive woman in a tight skirt, bare-legged. Men at the airport ogled him, assuming he was a beautiful flight attendant. He worried how he'd manage this new womanhood, if it would even wear off. While waiting for his luggage, he flipped one high heel around on his bare foot, then slipped it back on and brushed hair from his eyes with a soft sigh. Finally, the bags arrived. He grabbed the heavy suitcases but struggled with the weight. Here, gorgeous, let me help you with those, a man said. Are you with anyone? Gorgeous? Oh, wow, Dave muttered. Can you carry them to that cab out there? Buddy, the man replied, surprised. Oh yeah. Anything for a lovely lady, he said with a grin. The man carried Dave's bags to the cab. As they left, he pinched Dave's backside. Hey! Watch it. I'm married! Dave squeaked. The man smirked and walked away. Dave hailed a cab and headed to the hotel, hoping to clean up and call his wife to explain everything. After finally getting his hotel key and entering his room, Dave collapsed onto the bed. He called home, and his wife answered. Hello? Dave said, his voice soft and unfamiliar. Hello? Who is this? Megan asked, puzzled. Honey, it's me. Who else would it be? It's Dave, he replied. What? Who are you, miss? What did you say your name was? Megan asked, confused by the strange voice. Crap, Dave muttered. She doesn't recognize me. Sorry, wrong number, and he hung up. Megan mumbled to herself, now, who could that have been? Was she asking for Dave? I thought she said she was Dave. Oh well, he should be calling soon. She turned on the TV and waited. Back at the hotel, Dave had no choice but to cancel the interview until he could figure out what had happened. Maybe he should take the stewardess's advice and rest for a while. Hopefully, he'd feel better after some sleep. Dave called the job office and spoke with the secretary, claiming to be a female friend of Dave Blake, using illness as an excuse. The cancellation went smoothly. Maybe a hot shower and some rest will help. I could do the interview tomorrow. This'll be a funny story when it's over, me, a woman for a day. Ha! Dave joked to himself, unaware of the full extent of his situation. He stepped into the shower, stripping off the clothes the stewardess had provided. Facing the large bathroom mirror, he stared at the nude young woman reflected back. Every movement he made was mirrored perfectly. He couldn't believe he was controlling this woman's body, but reminded himself that he was, indeed, her. He stood still for a moment, hands on hips, watching the image in the mirror do the same. His pointers became erect. He bent side to side, feeling the softness of his hips with his small hands, running them down the gentle curves of his waist, along the outside and inside of his thighs. He was amazed by the softness. How long is this going to last, he wondered. Megan's going to freak if I come home like this. It feels kind of strange, but there's no way she'll accept another woman in the house, especially if it's her husband. Snapping back to reality, Dave turned on the water again, scrubbing his body thoroughly, washing his medium-long brown hair with extra care. He breathed in the steam, hoping it would cleanse whatever had caused this change. After toweling off, drying his hair with the blow dryer, and slipping into a white terry robe from the closet, he went to lie down. Dave woke from a restless sleep to find darkness outside. God, how long was I out, he muttered, running his fingers through his hair. The softness and length reminded him of his altered form. Sitting up, he pulled open the robe and saw that 2 firm, perky chests and full female features remained. He hadn't returned to normal as he'd hoped. Fear crept in as he wondered if this was permanent. With no suitable clothes, Dave dressed again in the blouse, skirt, and heels provided by the stewardess. Has this ever happened to anyone else? Maybe I should call the airline. Or see a doctor. But who would believe me? I need to get home, maybe Megan can help. She's going to flip. After finally gathering himself, Dave collected his things, checked out, and headed back to the airport. Despite the curious glances at his wrinkled clothes and worried expression, he approached the ticket counter to exchange his return ticket. I have a one-way ticket, ma'am, but it's a red-eye flight. It's the only option, the saleswoman explained. Well, if that's all there is, it'll have to do, Dave replied, paying for the ticket. Do you have any ID, ma'am? The attendant asked. Not one that matches this face, anyway. You could say I lost it on my last flight. And honestly, you folks should be thankful I'm not suing over what happened to me, Dave said sharply. I'm not sure what you mean, ma'am. If you don't have ID, I might need to call the manager. Please excuse me for a moment, the attendant said. She called over a manager who examined Dave's ID. They whispered to each other after entering some information into the computer. After a moment, the attendant's attitude softened. Ma'am, how do you know the person in this photo? I need to ask if you're returning home for medical reasons. Yes, you could say that, Dave replied. I'm the person in the picture, though I realize I look different now. How did you know? We're sorry, miss. There were a series of flights this morning during which several airlines experienced unusual turbulence and a strange phenomenon, she explained. No kidding, Dave added. I can't speak for others, but I can definitely confirm some very strange things happened to me. No need to explain further, ma'am. Reports are still coming in. I'm authorized to exchange your ticket. I don't know the full story, but my manager told me not to argue with you. Normally, I wouldn't believe any of this, but given what I've heard, I'm inclined to accept it. Who were you before? Is this the person on your ID? She asked politely. What do you mean were? I'm still him, but now I'm not a him, I'm a her. Some weird foggy cloud on the flight changed me, as far as I can tell, Dave answered. Well, any airlines crossing North Carolina today without proper oxygen supplies had a bizarre wave of male-to-female transitions among crew. Looking at you, well, I don't need to say more, the attendant said with a small smile. This isn't funny. Look at me, I'm a woman now, and I wasn't when I boarded, Dave snapped. So where did you get the flight attendant's uniform? She asked. One of your stewardesses gave it to me. She didn't believe who I was and saw me nearly falling out of my business suit. I'm a married man, for heaven's sake. I've got a wife to deal with, Dave said. It's all over the news, in case you haven't seen. There was a chemical leak over North Carolina, and so far, the effects seem permanent. If you're thinking of suing, good luck. Our legal department has ruled us not liable. We're apparently gaining a whole batch of new female pilots. Some men might need to reconsider things now that the tide has turned. Anyway, I'm authorized to approve your ticket without ID, the attendant said. That might be great for you, but I don't find this funny at all. Just give me my ticket, Dave said angrily. He grabbed the ticket, handed over the cash, and stormed off down the ramp, his new feminine figure somehow looking even more striking in his frustration. He paused briefly to buy an evening newspaper. At home, Megan had heard the news and was worried about Dave. She hadn't been able to reach him since his last call and feared the worst. I wonder if that woman who called was really him? No, that's impossible. Nothing like that could happen to my Dave me, she thought as she prepared for bed in a delicate pink nightgown. Back on the plane, Dave sat as a female passenger, gazing eagerly at the city lights outside his window. Next to him in the aisle seat was a well-dressed businessman. Dave didn't attempt to start a conversation, instead, he crossed his legs and stayed in character for now. Feeling helpless, he replayed the events of the past days in his mind. To relax, he unfolded a newspaper, only to see the chemical cloud incident splashed across the front page. Photos of victims and their new identities filled the headlines. The man beside him glanced over, noticing Dave's short skirt and blouse, and then the article. Hey, did you see this? The passenger said. What? Dave replied softly. I heard a bunch of flights along the East Coast got hit by that, the man said, pointing to the article. No way. That's crazy. Dave responded. Yeah, they're trying to find an antidote, but so far, no luck. It was all over the news, the man added. Dave smiled wryly. Well, buddy, you might be surprised, I'm one of them. You're kidding, the man said, looking Dave up and down. You went through that? What's with the heels and skirt? Yeah, I'm heading home to my wife now. That stuff did a number on me. I'm female, through and through. Just this morning, I looked like you, big guy in a nice suit. Now, look at me. Chests, soft skin, a woman. Someone gave me these clothes. I've got 2 suitcases full of useless men's clothes I'm taking back. That stuff is serious, Dave explained. Damn, man, well, if you don't mind me saying, you turned out pretty good. For a woman, I mean, the passenger said, reaching over to squeeze Dave's knee. Thanks, but I'm not staying like this, not if I can help it. I was hoping to get home and make love to my wife after this trip. Now look at me. I'm built better than her, Dave said, unintentionally striking a sexy pose again. The flight ended, and Dave quickly left the plane to find a payphone. He called home. Hello? Megan answered. Megan? It's me, Dave, he said, his voice unmistakably feminine. Oh my God, Dave? Is that you? Megan asked, worried. I've been watching the news. Where are you? It's me. I was the woman earlier too. I'm at the airport now. It's been a long, confusing day, Dave replied. You poor thing. I can only imagine how you feel. I'll be right there to pick you up, Megan said before hanging up. About half an hour later, Dave saw Megan's car pull up outside the airport. He jumped up, waving his arms. Megan spotted the stunning brunette with Dave's suitcases, and disbelief washed over her. She rolled down the window to be sure. Excuse me, Dave? Is that you? She asked, staring. Out of breath, Dave ran up to her. Yes, it's me. Do I look pitiful or what? He said, attempting a kiss. Megan pulled back. My God, you are a woman. What are we going to do? Help me load these suitcases in the trunk, and let's go home. I'm exhausted, Dave said. The two women struggled with the bags as Megan drove. Dave, now female, was still slightly taller than Megan but not by much. Megan felt a twinge of envy watching her husband, now a brunette bombshell, sit with legs crossed. They discussed clothes, figuring some of Megan's wardrobe might fit, though it'd be a bit tight. Their shoe sizes were close, which was a relief. Dave was eager to ditch the heels. At home, they unpacked. Megan insisted Dave change into something more comfortable and at least wear undergarments. Dave agreed and was given his own drawer for temporary clothes. They dressed for bed and turned on the news, which featured eyewitness reports from other affected flights. Many men had faced the same dilemma. Without thinking, Megan put on sexy lingerie. Dave rummaged through the drawer and found a piece of lingerie that surprisingly fit. Arg! I can't wear this. I just can't. Dave shouted. Honey, you're going to have to wear something. Your pajamas need alterations before you can wear them again, Megan said. I don't care. Give me my pajamas, Dave demanded, opening another drawer. Wearing borrowed underwear, Dave pulled on his own pajamas. They hung loosely, but he managed to keep them up as he walked to the bed. His soft feet peeked out from the pant legs, and the panties were faintly visible beneath. His chest pushed against the flannel, and despite himself, he looked as sexy as any woman in men's pajamas could. He climbed into bed beside Megan and leaned in to kiss her goodnight. Megan, her own chest visible through her nightie, reached out, resting a hand on Dave's hip, and kissed him back. It felt strange kissing another woman, but she knew this was still her husband inside. Dave curled up next to her, wrapping his arms around her. He tried to start some usual fondling, but Megan gently held his soft hand to her chest instead. The next day, Dave and Megan woke and sifted through clothes that would help Dave fit back into home life as normally as possible. Though awkward, having two women under the same roof went surprisingly smoothly. Dave faced many hygiene adjustments, but he was still Megan's husband inside. Megan returned to her usual household routine while Dave tried to do the same. Sitting in the kitchen eating breakfast, Dave read the morning paper, which offered no hope of a cure yet. Honey, you're not changing back at all. We need to get you to a doctor. You do want to lose that soft butt and those chests, right? Megan asked as she washed dishes. Yeah, I already miss holding you in my strong arms. Look at this, I think whatever this is, it's getting worse, Dave replied. He was right. His chest had grown slightly, and he was becoming even more beautiful. The doctor's office was fully booked, but they made room for Dave. Megan gave him some fitting clothes. After complaining about the shoes hurting his feet, Megan added stockings and a garter. Looking unexpectedly gorgeous, Dave met Megan in the car, and they drove to the doctor's office. The medical center parking lot was full. Inside, the waiting room held patients of all ages and genders. Strangely, another pair of women sat together much like Dave and Megan. One looked as awkward and uncomfortable as Dave felt. They wondered if they were not alone in their dilemma. Dave crossed his shapely legs and opened a sports magazine. Then he overheard the women talking behind him. Honey, they said they're going to give me disability pay until I find another job. Isn't that great? One said. That's good, Brittany. I don't understand why they don't keep you at the auto shop, you can still fix cars like no one else, the other replied. Well, they said I'd be too distracting to the guys. I don't miss the pinching and whistles either. Suddenly, they forgot I was the best mechanic there, Brittany said. Dave turned to Megan. Did you hear that? That woman has the same problem. He faced the women. Hey, which one of you is Brittany? That one said, pointing. A young woman in a pink jogging suit spoke up. If you're going to make fun of me, I don't think it's funny and I don't want to hear it. Oh no, Dave said. I'm Dave Blake. I can relate to your problem. Dave moved to sit beside Brittany while her partner sat with Megan. I'm Stephanie, and that's my husband Brittany, she introduced herself. Megan sighed. What are we going to do with these two? We're here to find out how long this will last. Brittany came back from a mechanics seminar just the other day. There was some substance smeared on one of his suitcases, and while unpacking, he transformed right before my eyes, from a 200-pound grease monkey to a young, girlish woman in minutes. I brought a vial of the stuff for testing, Stephanie explained. That's great, Megan said, catching Stephanie's surprised look. I mean, it's good to have a sample. An attractive nurse then called both couples simultaneously. Come on back, folks. In the small exam room, the doctor waited with a puzzled expression. Please, sit down. I have some disappointing news, the doctor said. What's wrong, doctor? Dave asked, his voice still soft and feminine. I've been on the phone most of the morning. I see you've already met. You're part of a unique group of men in the area who, through some exposure, have ingested a substance that genetically altered your male chromosomes. We saw similar cases overseas years ago, and plenty of research was published on it. This recent incident on the airlines over the weekend and yesterday is the only known recurrence in the States. As a medical professional, I'm truly sorry for what's happened and for what I'm about to tell you. It appears a combination of chemicals produced a new agent. This agent is short-lived, but under the right conditions, it alters a man's genetic code so profoundly it's as if he were female from the start. Each of your genetic codes has been changed in this way. In other words, unless someone finds a way to reconstruct your original code, something extremely difficult since each person's genetics differ, this condition is permanent. Experimenting with potential treatments could be disastrous or even fatal. Until a foolproof method is developed to reverse this, I suggest you start adjusting to your new selves. I see you brought a vial of the material, he said. Yes, here it is, Stephanie said, a tear rolling down her cheek. I'm afraid this will only help prevent future dangerous chemical combinations. The damage is done. As for you two new women here, adapt your lives accordingly. If you enjoy your usual activities, sports, gym, whatever, that's fine. There's no reason you can't continue, but remember, with your full female biology, things will be different. Find employment that fits your new situation and learn to manage new challenges, like buckling a bra. Make the best of it. Any questions? The doctor paused, and when none were asked, he added, I think you have a lot to discuss. Dave, Stephanie, and Megan all cried. Brittany was stunned, imagining all the girly calendars he used to share in the mechanics shop. Now, he was one of those girls. After exchanging looks, they thanked the doctor and left. In the parking lot, the couples exchanged phone numbers and promised to keep in close contact. They drove off, ready to face the new lives fate had handed them. Meanwhile, in the distance, another 747 took off from the local airport, carrying another load of unsuspecting businessmen. Don't forget to join me on Patreon for exclusive content.